Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called life. Electric word life, it means forever, and that's a mighty long time. But I'm here to tell you, there's something else. The afterworld. A world of never-ending happiness. You can always see the sun, day or night. But in this life, things are much harder than in the afterworld. In this life, you're on your own. So if the elevator tries to bring you down, go crazy. Punch a higher floor. I know what you're thinking. That many years of English courses, and he quotes Prince of all people. The purple one presents a straightforward dilemma. We all want to reach the afterworld, the penultimate goal, whatever it might represent for each of us individually. Academic prestige, a fulfilling job. I've always thought a Miss Pac-Man arcade game in the garage would be pretty sharp. But the question remains as to what we're supposed to do in the meantime as we get through this thing called life. Lenin, and I mean John, not Vladimir, said, life is just what happens to you while you're busy making other plans. We're a goal-oriented society. It's easy to gradually become so caught up in long-term aspirations that the envisioned destination overshadows the journey. The product becomes emphasized more so than the process. To many, this seems especially true in the pursuit of an education. I graduated from high school, but that doesn't really say anything about what I learned. In high school, I was the guy hanging out with his girlfriend the night before an essay was due and suddenly asking, hey, so Lord of the Flies, you read it, right? What happens in it? No, just tell me the important parts. I just need to write this essay. You don't need to tell me that much. So let's say she was patient and I was really lucky to have someone care about me that much to take the time and not tell me to get lost. But I passed the class, right? And I'm standing here. But the question is, when did I stop being that, hey, did you read the book guy? It seems like that moment should have a ceremony of some type. This is nice, but it wasn't until college that I stopped going to class to simply fulfill my graduation requirements and started paying attention to what was happening around me and really enjoying the experience. As graduation crept up, I kept hearing everyone saying things like, you're finally finished, how does that feel? Or maybe something like, well, this is it, the end, you've done it, old sport. I find these statements a little unsettling in the sense that I don't feel any different at all today than I did yesterday or last week or last month. This day will be a drop of water in an ocean of thousands of individually collected droplets, each one equal in proportion. We assign meaning to this particular day, but there is nothing that makes it elementally different than all the others, only the way we perceive it. I wish someone would have approached me my sophomore year of college and said, can you believe this? We're learning things here. We're undergoing a transition, reaching a higher plane. This is serious. Congratulations. I love you, man. I guess that would be kind of strange. It would be nice, though. David Foster Wallace famously once told a story about these two young fish swimming along, and they happen to meet an older fish swimming along the other way who nods at them and says, morning, boys, how's the water? And the two young fish swim on for a bit, and then eventually one of them looks over at the other and goes, what the hell is water? By the time graduation rolls around, all the major changes have already happened without us ever having been aware of it. Pretty sneaky. It's not until this big graduation ceremony drips onto the forehead that we're able to notice this ocean of changes we've been immersed in for the past 4, 5, 6, who's counting, years. Wallace goes on to point out that the most obvious, ubiquitous, important realities are often the ones that are the hardest to see and talk about. There won't always be big monumental events to feel good about. The exhilaration of commencement day will fade. That's a given. Be ready for it. Please refrain from breaking out the cap and gown at home in an effort to reignite the spark. What if somebody walks in on you? That would be really uncomfortable for everyone. Realistically, things will be much harder than we envision them in the afterworld. We are left with the routines and the commitments of adult lives, and those exciting chronological landmarks used to punctuate the timeline of our lives become fewer and farther between. The hope is that our experiences as English majors have taught us to be close readers and to find the underlying beauty and significance in the minute, yet omnipresent everywhere aspects of daily life. Haruki Murakami, another author, describes the commonplace and the ordinary as fireworks in the daytime, suggesting there's a subtle magic in the things we overlook and take for granted. A breathtaking spectacle is continuously taking place. Our ability to notice it is hindered only by the way we choose to perceive the world, how we choose to be in that moment. class of 2011, promise me that you'll party like it's 1999. Thanks for listening. I'll see you all in the afterworld.
Woo!